Hello students, today we are going to study about anatomy of Equisetun root. In the anatomy, when we cut the section of root, we found it is differentiated into outermost epidermis, which is also called as epiblema, cortex, and the central stele region. The outermost epidermis layer, which is also called as epiblema, is single cell thick protective covering of root. It protects the root while it enters into the soil particle from erosion. Some cells get differentiated into root hairs. Like you can see in this section, some cells of the epidermis get differentiated into root hairs. The root hairs of epidermis of root is single cell thick. These are elongations of epidermal cells, while the hairs of stem, in the stem the hairs are multicellular. Now the second region, which is also called as cortex, it is differentiated into outer and inner region. The outer cortex is sclerenchymatous and the inner cortex is parenchymatous. Sclerenchymatous means it is made up of thick-walled cells. Parenchymatous means it is made up of thin-walled living cells. The outer cortex is also called as exodermis. You can see the cortex. Here is the cortex. The outer portion of the cortex, which is also called as exodermis or hypodermis, this is shown by blue color. It is sclerenchymatous, and the inner region is thin-walled parenchymatous region. Now after that, the third region is stele region. This region is called as stele. It is after endodermis. Now in the stele region, which is characteristic feature of Equisetun root, there is presence of double layered endodermis. In all the pteridophytes, Equisetun has double layered endodermis. Otherwise, there is single layered endodermis in all the pteridophytes. So there is double layered endodermis, which is characteristic feature of Equisetun root. It is a 1 mark question. Its outer layer is with Casparian bands. जो डबल लेयर्स होती हैं, 2 लेयर्स, उसमें से जो बाहर की तरफ होती है टुवर्ड्स कॉर्टेक्स, उसके अंदर कैस्पेरियन स्ट्रिप्स प्रेजेंट होती हैं, जो कि एंडोडर्मिस की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर है. जबकि जो इनर लेयर होती है, इट इज मेड अप ऑफ थिन सेल्स एंड विदाउट कैस्पेरियन बैंड्स. अब इसके अंदर डबल लेयर्ड एंडोडर्मिस है, बट द पेरिसाइकिल इज एब्सेंट. After that endodermis and pericycle, there is the stelar region in which there is present xylem and phloem. So in the xylem and phloem, the arrangement of xylem and phloem is in form of protostele. Protostele means a simple type of stele in which xylem is present in center and the phloem is present outside this. The xylem which is present in center is in diarch to tetrarch condition and with exarch condition. मैं अभी आपको बताती हूँ. And the phloem is present between the protoxylem strands. हम डायग्राम में देखते हैं इसको. Here you can see metaxylem is in the center and the protoxylem is towards outside. So the condition is called as exarch. And it is in form of this form. This is called as tetrarch, and when it is arranged in this form, then it is called as diarch. And the phloem is alternating with protoxylem elements. यहाँ पे protoxylem elements हैं, इसके बीच में phloem है, यहाँ पे phloem है, यहाँ पे phloem है, यहाँ पे phloem है, यहाँ पे बाकी की cells रहेंगी. So this is the section of root in which there is epidermis. There is epidermis, single cell thick, and it is also having some cells with root hairs. After that, the second portion, cortex, which is differentiated into outer and inner region. The outer region is made up of sclerenchymatous cells, which is called as sclerenchymatous cortex, thick walled cells, and also called as exodermis. And after that, parenchymatous cortex of thin walled cells with intercellular spaces present in between them. After that, in the stellar region, there is double layered endodermis. Pericycle is absent. And in the stele region, if we talk about xylem, the xylem is in diarch to tetrarch condition, usually tetrarch condition, and it is exarch, that is metaxylem in the center and protoxylem outside, and the phloem is alternating with the protoxylem elements. In the xylem, the tracheids are present, and the tracheids in the metaxylem are with scleriform and pitted thickenings, while in protoxylem the thickenings are annular. In the phloem, sieve tubes and phloem parenchyma is present. Other two elements are absent in both. So this is all about the anatomy of root of Equisetun. Thank you, students.